everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. Today we'll be talking about Sinister War #1. This is a new Marvel comic. I have not been keeping up with Spider-Man itself, the Amazing Spider-Man, but I really wanted to kind of jump on this event. Marvel's usually pretty good about just kind of giving you the update of what you need to know before an event starts. This also will mark the end of the run for writer Nick Spencer. So let's get into that. Sinister War #1 is written by Nick Spencer, penciled by Mark Bagley, inked by Andrew Hennessy, John Dell, and Andy Owens, and colored by Brian Reber, and lettered by Joe Caramagna. And like I mentioned, this is a Marvel comic. So, like I mentioned, I haven't been reading, but I do know that multiple factions of Sinister Six variations are forming or have been forming in the past few issues. So we have here's a quick synopsis of what's going on. While attending his girlfriend's Mary Jane Watson's movie premiere, Peter Parker is drawn into action when the Vulture's Savage Six and Dr. Octopus's Sinister Six come to blows with Dr. Octopus, looking to recruit Mysterio as the final member. So it looks like they both want Mysterio. Mysterio is part of this movie. So that's pretty interesting. But the other thing that's interesting about this book is that Spider-Man is really unaware of who's behind, like, pulling all the strings. So that's actually Kindred, it's a villain that was introduced during this run. I won't go into details of who Kindred is, but if you've been reading, you know. If not, then you'll find out when you read this issue. But also, this issue starts with a conversation with Doctor Strange confronting Mephisto about the nature of Peter Parker's soul. So this gives me a lot of One More Day vibes. And I know One More Day is a divisive story, to say the least. I'm a fan of it because it's kind of what was going on when I started reading Spider-Man. So I think one of the big complaints is that there's a lot of Spider-Man baggage that it kind of undoes. But that's neither here nor there. Overall, I really like this issue. I like the whole everything elevating to the conflict, while this other story kind of plays in the background in multiple levels, because like I said, there's Kindred and then there's the Doctor Strange and Mephisto. We also get treated to Mark Bagley art, which I really like the way Bagley draws villains, especially Spider-Man stuff. It's really great. And then here we have a shot of the Vulture, just like, look at all that gritty detail and everything going on with the expression here. So I really like the art. As far as the villains, I do have a little bit of issues, as you heard me mention multiple inkers. I think there's sometimes a disconnect between the switching styles of the inkers. My main issue was with some of the characters' eyes, which I understand it takes a lot of skill. I just think the many people working on this book, it was a little bit distracting as I read on guided view. It may not be as noticeable if you're just reading the normal book where there's no zooming in, but that was a little bit distracting for me. But that's kind of the risk you take when you have multiple anchors, and trying to get everything done. So, but once again, like, all the other stuff is great. Mysterio looks awesome. This is a new look. Spider-Man and the action look great. We have this really cool long page of the Sinister Six and the Savage Six kind of going all out. But my main draw to the story is all the stuff with Doctor Strange and Mephisto in the background. So this story will continue in both the event and the Amazing Spider-Man. Like I mentioned before, this is the end of the run for Nick Spencer, which will conclude, I believe, at 75. We have a few Marvel series ending soon. Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk is ending. Venom just ended by Donny Cates. So this is a bit of a transition period. So it's a good jumping on point for new readers. So I'll keep covering all that stuff for Marvel. Overall, if you've been reading Spider-Man, if you like big events, if you appreciate either Nick Spencer's writing or Mark Bagley's art, I recommend this book. If not, this is something I would probably, personally, because I'm not super caught up on everything, and I would probably wait for Marvel Unlimited or a trade to be collected. But other than that, I mean, the issue was fun. And despite the few art issues that I had, I love seeing the Spider-Man interact with his villains. I feel like Nick Spencer really captures a fun Spider-Man voice. Although he was kind of in the background for this issue a lot. It was really about the villains, which is very interesting. I think Spider-Man and Batman have probably some of the best rogue galleries. So it's understandable that when you bring in two groups of 6 plus Mephisto and Kindred, that Spider-Man may not get as much screen time. We also have Octavius back to his old form, which I kind of missed. I haven't read that piece yet. So yeah, I'm interested. Like I said, I'll probably keep checking this out, even if it's not week to week. Once it's finally done, I'll probably either get it all or Marvel Unlimited. Marvel Unlimited's a lifesaver with stuff like this, because it's probably going to end up being like 12 issues if you include the Amazing Spider-Man. So that's definitely a big investment. But let me know what you thought of the comic book. If you read it, like I mentioned, I think it's very interesting for sure. So that's about it for the review. Overall, thumbs up. At 3.5, probably on a scale of 5, just because I'm not super invested in the Spider-Man story, but I think it hits all the notes of a first issue of a comic event. So thanks for watching, everybody. Remember to share, like, subscribe, and have a good one.